Good afternoon and welcome into Lacrosse TV's presentation of the CAA Game of the Week Women's Lacrosse Showdown at Vitus Field in Philadelphia. The Drexel Dragons, they're 1-2 in conference play, 7-4 overall, 6-1 on their home turf. They host the Elon University Phoenix. They're at 4-8, 0-3 in conference play, looking for their first dub in conference action this season. Brendan Lasheen alongside Team USA's Kylie O'Miller, former Stony Brook Seawolf. Kylie, looking forward to this one. Should be a great game. Sort of a desperation start here for both of these programs when you consider trying to get in that CAA tournament is priority number one.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see these two match up. I think both teams have some quality wins underneath their belt so far this season, and both teams have some tough losses that they're looking to bounce back from. So I think in terms of the CAA, as we head into the middle of April and head closer to May, I think this is a big-time matchup and one that we might see later in the CAA tournament as well.
We will pause momentarily for the national anthem being played at Vitus Field. All right, both teams head to their respective sidelines. Kylie, let's look at the players we want to watch for today. We'll begin with Drexel's Corinne Bednarik, who has been unbelievable this year. 28 goals, 41 points, a preseason all-conference selection.
Yeah, Corinne Bednarik is a player that Coach Katie O'Donnell mentioned is just one of those players that no matter where you put her on the field, she's going to be dominant and she's going to make a presence in a lot of different areas. She can score, she can facilitate, and she creates a lot of opportunities for Drexel's offense with draw controls and ground balls also being stats that she stands out with.
And I really enjoyed our conversation with Josh Hexter, the Elon head coach, talking about Sierra Hobson. She hasn't shown everything she can be yet, leads the Elon Phoenix with 38 points.
Sierra Hobson is a player that stands out for this Elon squad as someone who can get them a big-time goal when their offense needs one. She's a threat off ball and as a cutter, and Coach Hexter mentioned, like you mentioned, he wants to see his players go to cage more often. So we'll look to see a lot of that this afternoon.
Elon can certainly score goals. Hobson had a career-high 7 against Towson. That was a short setback, only losing 17-14. And then got Drexel falling to Kylie's alma mater, Stony Brook. They are very good since their arrival to the conference, and before then. Drexel's got a great defense. Top 20 goals against average, just under 10 per game. So I'm fascinated. I think those are the two units to watch here, right? We've got the Elon offense and the Drexel defense.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great matchup, and something I always love to point out as we kind of head into the spring as well. It looks like a beautiful day out. Heading into April and May, we get into the fun part of playing lacrosse in the spring. Hopefully no more rain or snow or cold weather. So I'm excited for this game of the week.
Kylie, before we get started, as a former player and understanding, like you said, we're into that part of the calendar now where there's a sense of urgency. You're in these two teams' cases, you're trying to get yourself into the top 4 in the conference to make a run at a CAA championship. How do you channel that urgency and try to stay within yourself, even though you want it so badly?
Yeah, I think the important thing to mention is that every team goes through its ups and downs. The season is long, and you head into the season in January with one game plan. And a lot of times as a team, players get hurt. Players do better than we anticipated. And matchups kind of differentiate. You lose to teams you weren't expecting to, but you beat teams you also weren't expecting to. That's the ebbs and flows of the season. So I think as you head into this middle part of the season, it's important to learn, recognize what you've learned from those losses, recognize the little things that you've done well up until this point, and kind of harp on those as you head into these big matchups that'll destine for your future in the CAA tournament.
We are set to go. Elon in the road maroon uniforms, Drexel in their home white. Sammy Fisher in the draw circle for Elon. Laura Sistel, 47 draw controls for Drexel this year. First possession to the Dragons. And the whistles blow right away. Moments into the first. Drexel 7 wins this year to just 4 losses, averaging 13.5 goals per game in their 7 wins. Ran into a buzzsaw in Stony Brook last week. We'll see what kind of effort and energy they bring today. Allie Van Slyke, 18 in the white, brings it up. It's Drexel's ball. Or, pardon me, it's Elon's ball in their attacking zone. We're trying to get situated here on the field.
Just a little bit of a back and forth with the referee situation. Seems as if Drexel will be playing a player down as well. So whatever the call was on that draw control, which I wasn't able to see, must have meant that the player got a yellow card. So they're playing a player down on defense.
Elon not shy to committing fire on Jenica Cuoco, who is number 3 in the nation in save percentage at 54%, leads the CAA in 8.7 goals against. Drexel with the stop on defense to start. Ball gets turned over. We talked to Drexel's coach, interim head coach Katie O'Donnell, about this, taking care of the ball in the clear, and there's a mishap by the Dragons.
Yeah, I think those little things, again, heading into games like this where it might be a regular season game, but it's a conference matchup. It has a lot to do with where you're going to end up being seeded in the conference tournament, headed into the next couple of weeks. So paying attention to those little details, like clearing the ball well, picking up ground balls, and taking care of the ball when you have it on offense will be really important.
Elon with possession. We're just underway at Vitus Field in Philadelphia. Ball is coughed up. Good pressure by Drexel's defense. Alex Wall, the midfielder from Weddington, North Carolina. One of a handful of seniors on the roster. Caitlin Walsh earning the start for Elon today in the goal. 5th consecutive start for Walsh. Start number 9 overall in 13 games now for Elon as a program. Maddie Fowler, a couple goals on the season, swings it up to Haley Simpson. With 8 free position goals this year. Here comes Simpson. Gives it up. You can see the shot clock at the middle of your screen, just below the scoreboard. In front, and Drexel scored. Bednarik, who we highlighted before the game, 29th goal of the season. A jack-of-all-trades player for Drexel, and she's got them on the board first.
Again, another player that we mentioned in the beginning of this broadcast, but Coach Katie O'Donnell was talking about how Bednarik has really just evolved as a player this year. She started off as an attacker. They moved her to midfield, and then due to a couple of injuries and setbacks with this team has seen, she's playing more of that attacking role on the offensive end of things. But she does a little bit of everything, and you can see it there, just really getting her team on the board. She's a big-time momentum player.
No question. And that's what Coach said. Even when the ball isn't going in the back of the net, her production in other areas, like you had highlighted, Kylie, just to have that mindset to do what it takes to win, so necessary in conference play, especially when you're coming off a tough loss and you've got to rally the troops.
Yeah, I think that's what great leaders do. You know, I think taking what you've learned from a loss, maybe some of the things you guys didn't do so well and you plan to do well as a team. That's, you know, the leader's responsibility to make sure that everybody's locked in throughout the week of practice and bring into this game. So you could see that starting right away for Corinne Bednarik.
Anna Hackett, great movement for Elon offensively, looking for an equalizer. Pass intended for Hannah McCarthy. Out of reach. And Cuoco not shy to leave the cage and outlets, but turned over. It was great pursuit initially by McCarthy, as well as Hackett off the draw control for Elon. At the end of the day, it still has possession. We're underway. Bednarik has the goal for Drexel. 2 turnovers for the Dragons, though, in the clearing game. Sierra Hobson, 22 in the maroon. Flips it. McCarthy drops to the deck. And I think we'll have a free position opportunity here. Hannah McCarthy, 4 goals this season. Above 50% shots on goal percentage. Here comes McCarthy. And somehow it's kept out of the goal by Cuoco. She may have been a little surprised as well. But Drexel can't clear the ball again.
Something you've mentioned a couple times so far, Brendan, I think is really, really important, just taking care of the ball. Those big-time momentum saves from Cuoco. She's had 2 of them so far today, keeping Elon off the board. But the team's got to do a better job at making sure they take care of the ball. I'm sure they'll look to clean that up as the game goes on.
Well, the irony is when we talked to Elon's coach, Josh Hexter, he talked about taking care of the ball and getting more shots. The Elon Phoenix had 25 turnovers against Towson. And they had shifted to zone. There's the equalizer. We're tied at 1. Elon has tied the game. Catherine Merritt with her 13th of the season.
A beautiful inside roll there, right from behind. Catherine Merritt just recognizes that she's coming up full speed. So is her defender. So as her defender meets her there, she fakes upfield and she's able to kind of tuck her stick underneath her, use the pressure of that defender upfield, and really get underneath, protect her stick, and get past Cuoco.
Merritt now 16 points overall on the season. This Elon team can score. Hung with Towson, despite the loss, scored 14 goals. And Cuoco was it felt like based on that, it was a great move, of course, but just kind of hung out to dry in a one-on-one situation.
Absolutely. I think she's done a lot of what she can do so far. She has 2 saves on the day so far, and that's just a tough situation for a goalie, an attacker that's got great positioning coming across the crease, finishing low as well as a really smart play by Merritt to make sure that she dropped that shot down low to get past Cuoco.
Bednarik with the draw control. 40-plus on the season coming in. Sissel took the opening draw, leads the Dragons. And when Drexel is settled into its possession with the ball in their offensive zone, they're lethal. But their turnovers have allowed Elon to hang in there. We're just underway, 5 minutes in, tied at 1. Alex Wall up top, 7 in the white jersey. Pass back out to Fowler. Drexel sharp in its sets. Molly Wagan with the pursuit. And for the first time now, Drexel, free position chance. Molly Wagan has 1 goal this season. Whistle blows for the senior. Goes in and scores. Drexel did not waste time to take the lead.
It was a really nice take on the initial drive by Molly Wagan. I think what she did there was a lot of the offense was able to really move around well, and she did a great job at driving and creating that opportunity for herself on the free position line. What she did a great job of there is avoiding the crease after she came in nice and hard. When you're working on a free position shot opportunity, you want to get off that line as fast as you possibly can. And she had a lot of speed going into both the dodge and the free position shot. She used that to her advantage, and that was a terrific shot placement.
Kylie, how do you balance having speed but also body control on the free position?
That's a great question. I think Molly Wygand just did an incredible job at proving a great example there for that. When you get off the line for a free position, your job is to beat the two defenders who are on either side of you for that first step, right? So it's all about that quick first step. And then the second thing that you want to be really fast at is releasing the ball. So she also did a great job at that, recognizing that she got off the line quickly. She beat her defenders, and then she was able to release the ball as well. Once the ball's out of your stick, then it's a matter of control and making sure you don't run through that crease.
So Wagan's goal, the difference right now, 2-1 Drexel. It wins the draw. Cameron Ryan, who was shouted out by interim head coach Katie O'Donnell in our call this week, crucial in the draw circle. Ryan just a junior. Shot, and Drexel's got a 2-goal lead. Grace Harding fires on the run to beat Walsh.
Grace Harding is known as one of those really intense dodgers. She uses her speed from up top. You saw it on the play before this as well. She was the one who initially created a lot of that offense for Wygand's opportunity. But on this one, she really turns the corner. She recognizes that there's no defender sliding to her strong hand, and she's able to take that really hard, far away shot, which she does so well. If you watch her play, she does a great job at getting that first step on her dodge, using her speed, and then being able to wrap her stick around her defender when she's got one step and finish.
Very impressive with two Elon defenders creeping up on her, and did not make her shy to fire. Kylie, we could be in for a shootout today. 4 goals already.
It's an exciting game. I love to see a lot of goals on the board.
That would make sense based on your career and what you've done, putting the ball in the back of the cage.
Makes for fun and exciting lacrosse to watch. That's my biggest thing when it comes to women's lacrosse, is just making sure it's exciting for everybody to watch.
Kylie Old-Miller, Brendan Glasheen with you. Lacrosse TV's presentation of the CAA Game of the Week, women's lacrosse. 2 desperate teams in this conference. Drexel and Elon on the outside looking in at the top 4. Top 4 make the conference tournament in early May. Drexel's got 1 conference win. Elon winless in conference play at 0-3. Drexel does not generate an opportunity to shoot on the goal. Elon now tries to clear. Walsh has it, the goalie.
A little bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there by Bednarik. Just kind of dropped the ball at X, and ball goes out the back end line, so it will be Elon's ball. But it seems as if Drexel's doing a great job at covering their girls right now, as Walsh is heading well over the 50.
Plenty of space for Walsh to dish. And Alex Belville allows Elon to set up. Midway through the opening quarter, Drexel leads 3-1. And it's coughed up. Drexel on the run, Sissel. Bounces it up ahead to Wagan, the senior, with another disruption, this one caused by the Elon Phoenix. Hustle play by Sierra Hobson, who, like Bednarik, when asked, can do multiple things.
I think that's a really important factor to note, too. They're both players that we highlighted necessarily for their ability to score goals and create points and create opportunities for their offenses. But as you can see so far in this game, and as their coaches told us, they're all-around players. They're going to hustle in the ride. They're going to grab those draw controls. They're going to pick up those 50-50 ground balls when their team needs them.
Drexel's defense scoring right now. Best goals against average in the conference. 9.3 goals allowed per game. Elon, best percentage in terms of free position at 54%. I beg your pardon, 47%. Shot, and Elon scores to make it a 1-goal game. Catherine Merritt once again.
Catherine Merritt, her second goal of the game, second goal for Elon as a group, and that starts in the ride there. I think you have to give Hobson a little bit of credit there in the ride by making sure that she comes up with that ball and gets her offense a second chance opportunity. Catherine Merritt, the classic Charlotte North wind up on the free position. You saw that a lot with Team USA, with Charlotte North just kind of, recognizing that that's going to be the opportunity for a great shot. And Catherine Merritt did a great job at that as well. You mentioned their free position percentage as a team, and you can tell that she is a big time deal with that.
So make it 33 free position goals for the Elon Phoenix as a team. I'm so glad you brought up Charlotte North. I'm based in the New England area. I've had the luxury to did some of her games at Boston College. My goodness. I pray for goalies that had to face the North flamethrower.
And Catherine Merritt did a great job there at making sure that she hit her stick well on that wind up. And that's why I think that beat Cuoco on the shot. I think that as that wind up on the free position, she really did a great job at making sure that her stick was hidden back behind her. I think that's what makes it difficult for goalies to see. So whether it's Charlotte North doing it or Catherine Merritt here in this game, or a young player out there who's watching both of them, do their thing out on the big stage, I think it's a really great option to have on the free position line.
Drexel's won 5 of the 6 draws in this one. Bednarik took it into the zone. Picked out Kate Morano. Drexel, ball coming out of the stick swiftly. Plenty of movement. 40 seconds remain on the shot clock. 5:40 first quarter. 3-2 Drexel. Elon just responded to make it a 1-goal game. Now Bednarik at X. Spin move on the goal line. Drexel works back in. And Haley Simpson scores. Just when there's a response by Elon, Drexel doesn't waste time to come right back. Simpson's 24th.
A great take there by Simpson. I think what was noteworthy about that Drexel offensive set was that they took their time in the shot clock. You saw Bednarik trying to take it a couple of times, and Elon had some great one-on-one defense here. And Haley Simpson sees all that space on the right and the left side of her. You see those Elon defenders are a little bit slow to slide adjacently, and she recognized that she had some availability, a lane on both the left and the right side. That hard jab step to her left opened up her right hand, and it was a great take there by Haley Simpson.
Oftentimes, the best ability is availability.
I like that one. I'm going to steal that.
That's from the great football coach Bill Belichick.
I like it.
I'm sure Amanda's used that one from time to time coaching for women's lacrosse folks. But yes, you may steal it and take it.
Okay, thanks.
and give me credit if you want.
I love it. I love a good quote from one of the all-time greats.
So Elon wins a second draw of the 7 total, 5 to Drexel, 2 to the Phoenix. Kylie, I'm not sure about you. I'm feeling urgency though on every possession. I've really been impressed with how these teams have come out with the energy.
Yeah, I think something I just noted as we head back into Elon's offensive end is how back and forth it's been, in terms of draw controls, in terms of possessions. And I think it's been exciting to see that there's a ton of fans in the stands. Both sidelines sound super energized, and both teams are playing with a lot of urgency right now in terms of getting points on the board.
Simpson, who just scored over the midline, and Drexel clears. So Simpson just scored the goal and doing a little bit of everything now for the Dragons, who lead by 2 with 4 minutes to go in the first. This year, Drexel in their 7 wins. They have 7 wins overall, 1 in the conference. In their 7 wins, averaging close to 14 goals a game. They've got 4 in the first. And not just the crowd, you can hear both sidelines very engaged. Wall to Simpson. Bednarik weaves through the defense, misfires, but it's backed up by the Dragons.
I think Elon's defense is doing a great job at making Bednarik work for her shots so far.
Harding scores again. Lethal on the move. Slippery down the alley. Her second, and Drexel's lead is 3.
Grace Harding on the drive from up top is lethal. As you see here on this drive here, she starts up top with her left hand. She has so much space to work with here. And she had 2 defenders deciding on whether or not they were going to step up to ball. Seems as if there was a bit of miscommunication between the 2. But either way, she was heading right downhill with that strong split dodge. And again, that rocket of a shot that she has with her right hand, that is really impressive and definitely has to be difficult to stop.
Harding feeling herself a bit, playing with some swag in Philadelphia. Elon owns the all-time series, 4 wins. Drexel 2 wins, meeting number 7 between the 2 programs. See if Elon can win a draw. It's had its struggles today. In this case, a violation. So the Phoenix catches a break. Catherine Senich blazes into 2 defenders. Ball is out, but a whistle. And officials will confer. We may have a free position coming up for Elon. And that will not be the case. But big possession for Elon as Drexel makes this mini run with a little separation. They've scored 4. Drexel has scored 4 of the last 5 goals. Hobson with the pass in deep. Kaylee now repossesses now. Great move to the cage. Cuoco in her breadbasket.
Really slick move to the cage there, but Cuoco, as you mentioned, saw that all the way through. She really saw that low shot there, which I thought was a great shot placement by the shooter there. But I think that Cuoco has a great step. She's got a really athletic sense of the game. And Coach Katie O'Donnell has said nothing but excellent things about the goalie world that they have there at Drexel.
Without a doubt, Callan Fritsch, the senior goalkeeper who backs up Cuoco, was shouted out by Coach O'Donnell for her, like you said, that goalie room. They've held it together. Drexel with the bid. That time it was Alex Wall. Race to the corner. And it seems, too, Kylie, even as great as Cuoco has been for the season, both goalies have had to play on their tippy toes and really heads up because the ball is moving when both teams are in their offensive zones.
Absolutely. I think it's a mark of both really fast, really well-coached offenses. And I think we heard that from both head coaches as we kind of talked to them in preparation for this game this week. Both of them were looking to play fast. Both of them were looking to play their best styles of their own versions of offense. And I think we're seeing that so far this quarter.
Yeah, it's true. And both coaches did mention when we have possessions, for Drexel, it wants to generate more possessions, taking care of the ball. Same thing that Josh Hexter said of Elon, but going to the cage hard. One of those little things that they want to check the box in this kind of matchup. Pass goes awry, and McCarthy threw it away, but Elon holds on to it. Final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. Hobson. Cuoco has some help from Her defense hangs on to it. Drexel in transition. Now just bidding for the clear. Opening for Morano. Harding leaped, but the ball went over her stick. And that is how the first quarter ends at Vitus Field in Philadelphia. Drexel came to play. It did not score often against Stony Brook, a bounce-back spot at home on a Friday afternoon. Dragons lead 5-2 over Elon. We'll step aside. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Welcome back to Vitus Field in Philadelphia. CAA Women's Lacrosse Game of the Week. Brendan Glasheen alongside Team USA's Kylie O'Miller. 5-2 Drexel at the end of one. Dragons score 4 of the last 5 goals in the first. A lot of scoring in those first 6 minutes or so. Then it dropped off in the final 7 minutes. Catherine Merritt's got both for Elon. But so far, Kylie, what jumps out to me the most, at least, is just the up and down nature of this one.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of intensity that goes into these kinds of games, heading into conference play, the midst of it, and really just fighting for a spot in that top 4 of the CAA tournament. Both of these teams doing a great job battling it out so far today.
Oh, without question. There's urgency for both of these teams. Right now, if the conference tournament were to start today, neither would be in the CAA tournament. Stony Brook, Towson, Monmouth, William and Mary, 1 through 4, respectively. Seawolves and Tigers undefeated at 3-0 in league play. A win for Drexel would go a long way to hang with Monmouth and William and Mary, who both have 2 wins. And, of course, for Elon, it's desperation time. 0-3 in the conference. Drexel's won 6 of the 9 draws. It's shooting to our left now. Pass to Wall, swarmed by a few Elon players. Reposition opportunity for Drexel. It's Wall. Walsh the save, but followed up by Drexel's Haley Simpson. Her second.
A really nice heads-up play by Haley Simpson there. The save was amazing by Walsh. And then right off of that rebound there, Haley Simpson just crashing from the free position, scooping up the ground ball, and a little bit of a dunk. You see this original free position opportunity. Wall fading a little bit. The nice save, but just a heads-up play to get a stick on the ground, follow that ball, and right off the shoot, walking to Haley Simpson.
Tough situation for Walsh after making the initial save. But sticking with the play and playing through the whistle, as cliche as it sounds, that's exactly what Drexel did. So it's currently a 3-0 scoring run for the Dragons. Simpson has accounted for 2 of those 3 goals. Alex Wall significantly involved in the last couple of sequences for the Dragons offense in the clear game. Allows the Dragons to set up shop and attack. Maddie Fowler. Elon still in this zone. We talked to Coach Hexter. He highlighted that shift in strategy last week. Shot misses wide by Wall, backed up by the Dragons. Alex Belville, 20 in the maroon, helps Walsh, eyeing the player at X. Bednarik sets a screen for Fowler. Pass to the cutter. It's intercepted. Can Elon clear? Nice move there by Mimi Economist, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio.
Elon's done a great job at covering cutters so far in the last couple of sequences for Drexel's offense. He's done a great job at swarming anytime that the ball kind of is passed right into the 8 into one of those cutters.
Just a couple minutes into the second quarter. Drexel leads 6-2. Can Elon fight its way back in? Nice steal initially. It felt like there was a steal there by Elon's Michaela Busquillo, the captain. Drexel lobs into the O-zone. Numbers. Nice idea by Belle McHugh, the preseason All-CAA selection. Luckily, had a teammate there to bail her out.
Yeah, that was a tough pass to catch, but it was definitely a great idea to push that offense, and got really lucky that they didn't have to go back down the field. And as you can see here, this is a great time management opportunity for them, as that fast break didn't necessarily work. They're looking to get the ball around and then get back into their offense, settle down just a bit.
Wall fires. Drexel's there for the backup. Last Sunday, really earlier in the week, a short week for Drexel. It played Stony Brook on the road on Long Island, April 2nd. Lost 15-3. They've already doubled their goal total with 6 on the board. Still a lot of time to go in the second. And Drexel's generating a lot of looks on Walsh. That whistle favors Elon. My question now for you, Kylie, is how does Elon get Sierra Hobson involved?
Yeah, and I think that's something that when you look at Drexel's scouting report, that's probably something that's on there defensively for them, is making sure that, you know, Elon's best goal scorer is covered and is covered well every single offensive possession that they get. I think Hobson's done a great job at involving herself so far. She just hasn't had any shot opportunities to really put the ball in the back of the cage. But Catherine Merritt has been doing a lot of those driving, and really finishing. As you saw there, she took another one of those inside rolls, but it was another nice save by Cuoco.
That possession was short-lived offensively for Elon. Drexel's controlled possession now for much of the game. Those first 6 minutes, it was both ways. Now the Dragons have really put their foot down.
As you can see here, just again, a bit more of time management as they have that 4-goal cushion.
A lot of space for Wall. But an infraction ruled by the officials.
Going to call an illegal pick there, or a moving pick on the off-ball opportunity. That's probably why Alex Wall had so much room to operate with on that drive.
Saw Walsh do this in the first quarter, walk it up to midfield. Elon tries to set up. There was some pressure by Wall defensively, and Elon can take a breath and settle in. For the first time, it feels like in forever.
I think something to note successfully for Drexel there is it just took about 40 seconds off of the shot clock for Elon's offense, and an offense that hasn't seen a settled possession in a little bit. So just probably feeling a bit more rushed on offense because Drexel did such a great job at the ride.
Hackett had it stripped. The pursuit for the ground ball by Drexel has been eye-popping in the first half. Elon's last goal was with 6:36 to go in the first. Catherine Merritt has both of the goals for the Phoenix. Maddie Fowler intended for Harding. And Drexel rolls out and resets. I think we're starting to really see now too, Kylie, why this defense is one of the best in the country, Drexel.
Absolutely. You could see that their pressure, their on-ball pressure when it comes to one-on-one defense is something that they really hone into individually. And then as a team, they definitely are very cognizant of where each other are. And that is something that Coach Katie O'Donnell was talking about, is led well by the goalie, Danica Cuoco.
And while Bednarik has not been shooting as much, you have to account for her creating opportunities for others. Wagand on the run has already scored today. Wagand, scored her second goal of the season. Bednarik did get the scoring started. 4 different goal scorers. Check it. 3 different goal scorers. Harding with 2. Simpson with 2 for the Dragons. Looping pass to the sideline. Officials talking with the scores table at midfield. Wall has the ball up top, 7 in the white. In for Drexel, puts them in the conversation with William and Mary and Monmouth in the conference to sneak into the conference tournament. But still a lot of lacrosse to be played in the month of April. Wall backpedals. Wagan to Harding. Bednarik at X. Wall feeds. Walsh the stop. Shot by Maddie Fowler. Walsh was reading those passes well and had a clear lane to see the ball come to the stick.
Great save there by Walsh. Drexel did a great job at making sure that they were moving the ball well, and that's the shot that you want to take, but you just want to place it in a different spot. I think that their player-up opportunity here, there is a yellow card to one of Elon's players. You'll see here that Elon was offsides as they head into their offensive third. So the Drexel will get the ball back as the referees take a second to kind of make sure everything is all set. But Drexel is still a player up for about 1 minute and 1 second left.
For a second, I thought it was a typo, but both teams actually have the same amount of woman-up goals this year, 9 for both, and both teams have allowed a goal on the woman down. How does Drexel attack with the extra offensive player on the field? Bednarik is drilled. Free position chance for Bednarik. Has 7 free position goals this season. Decides to kick it. Open chance. And Simpson has a hat trick in the first half. A woman-up goal for Haley Simpson. Bednarik, the pass. Drexel's lead is 5.
It's a really unselfish play there by Corinne Bednarik, and a really veteran play as well, right? The Drexel is a player up in this offensive possession, so when she grabs that free position opportunity, instead of opting to take the low-angle shot, she actually moves the ball over one more, touches the defense off guard, and Haley Simpson on a really nice alley dodge down to her left hand for her 3rd goal of the game.
And shout out to Lindsay Dean, where's number 4 in the white, set a nice screen to open up that chance. Simpson's having a day. Entered action with 23 goals. The shot on goal percentage, extremely impressive. 43 of 45 coming in, and each time Simpson has fired has been on the money.
A really impressive stat to hold. Not easy to make sure all of those balls go in the back of the net every time you shoot it, especially under high pressure situations, which I'm sure Haley Simpson sees a ton when she's in those opportunities. That's a very impressive stat.
We talk so much about the contributors like Bednarik and how she's a jack of all trades player. Well, Simpson's got 3 ground balls and 2 caused turnovers to go with the 3 goals and has taken 4 shots. So actually, her shot on goal percentage takes a slight dip, but just a mere 75%, still very solid. Drexel's on a 4-hole run. Bednarik, spin move. Dragons keep it. We come up on 4 minutes to play in the first half at Vitus Field, home of the Drexel Dragons. Scored just 3 on Sunday at Stony Brook, and they have refound their groove. Harding likes to go right. That time it was the left side. Elon's defense stands pat.
Another nice save by Walsh. We've seen a few on both ends from both of the goalkeepers out there today. And Walsh is starting to get a good read on some of these shots that are being taken on the run by some of our Drexel offensive players.
Elon takes its time to put everyone in position to operate in much need of a goal. Merritt has both of their G's in this one. And the last goal for Elon was midway through the first. So we're approaching that 20-ish minute mark where they have not scored a goal. Another interception and caused turnover by Drexel's defense. Harding over midfield. Poked at by Elon. And the attempt to drag it into the offensive third, unsuccessful. So Drexel musters a clear.
Drexel has been a great example of turning defense into offense so far in the second quarter, especially. Their pressure on ball and in those slides every time that one of the Elon offensive players is looking to drive, just like in that last possession there. They do a great job at getting in the hands of their offensive players and really disrupting the play. And they're able to clear successfully and take their time here on the offensive end.
And it feels like their pursuit on the ride has tired out Elon slightly, despite the fact the Elon offense has not been on the field for very long because of their limited possessions in terms of time. Bednarik for the first goal of the game. There's her second. Bednarik makes it 8-2. Drexel has now scored 5 in a row.
Bednarik is someone who can attack both sides from X, and she shows that well here in this play. On the last possession she came up this left side in that exact spot there, and she turned back to her right hand. So on this one, she recognizes, hey, that didn't work last time. Let me turn back to my left hand with that little bit of a rocker, come over the top side, and finish with my left hand there. I think that was a really smart attacking play, utilizing what didn't work in the previous play for her as a Dodger, and then attacking the next time, kind of taking those notes to herself. That's a really great job there by Bednarik.
And all you can do is feel out the game and then make those choices as you process it. Really impressive by Bednarik. That's special. Senior from Glenmore, Pennsylvania. Up to 30 goals, 30 on the season. Preseason all-conference selection. Drexel's won 8 of 11 draws. Elon fights for that one. Sammy Fisher is plucked at from behind. So never mind the 5-0 run for the Dragons. They've also scored 7 of the last 8. This was a 1-1 game, 4.5 minutes in. Elon made it 3-2. They haven't scored since. Can they get Sierra Hobson going? Or someone could possibly lift them. High percentage in front. Cuoco covers it up, but a failed clear. There was a chance for Elon.
Hobson, a really nice job there on the back check, the initial ride on that one to get the ball back, and a heads-up play to get the ball into the middle as Cuoco was out of the cage. It's an even better heads-up play on the defensive end for Drexel to get in there and make sure that he can make that shot.
16 seconds to go. Bednarik tripped up. Bednarik really throws her whole body at every play.
That'll be another yellow card for Elon's defense. So Drexel has 16 seconds to work with on the game clock as a player up.
Buoskio picks up the yellow card for the Phoenix. Simpson has 3 in the first half, decides to give it up. At X. Oh, great goal by Drexel. Executing on the woman up with just 10 seconds to work with.
That was really pretty offense, and I think that initial shot didn't mean to look like a pass to the back of the cage, but it worked out well. Nice back up to the back of the cage, and then a really quick inside feed. You see this initial pass inside. The ball goes right over the top, and it's backed up immediately. Eyes are up into the middle, and Grace Harding ready for the cut. She has 2 defenders on her, and she's able to handle the ball and put it to the back corner of the net. It's a really heads-up play by Drexel's offense.
So Grace Harding joins Simpson with a hat trick in the first half. I'm glad you said that because I thought, too, that you thought it may have been a shot, but it was a pass to X and Drexel picking apart Elon's.
It's supposed to be a shot,
end.
I think.
It's supposed to be a shot. I thought so, too.
I would assume it was supposed to be a shot, but either way, it worked out.
Either way. They'll say it's a pass because it was that pretty. So we've reached halftime at Vitus Field. Drexel on a monster run. They've scored 6 in a row in 8 of the last 9. They lead 9-2 at halftime. We will step aside. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Welcome back to Lacrosse TV's presentation of the CAA Game of the Week. We're at Vitus Field in Philadelphia. Drexel Dragons, Kylie O'Miller, they have refound their prominence on offense. They have 9 goals, 6-0 run to close out the second quarter. We'll get Kylie back up here in a second. So Drexel scores 8 of the last 9. Drexel scores 8 of the last 9 goals of the first half. And Elon did not score at all in the second. Drexel outscored him 4-0. Elon has not scored since the midway point of the opening quarter. Kylie, if you had to pinpoint what stood out to you most by Drexel in that first half, what would it be?
I think it'd have to be the possessions on the draw controls. They've been definitely dominating the draw circle in terms of this game. And I think that every time they gain possession on offense, they're taking their time and they're looking to see what works well for them. Another piece that has stood out to me in the first half is this Drexel defense that we're looking at right here. Jenica Cuoco in cage has made a couple of nice stops, but the defense just does a really incredible job at swarming anytime an offensive player steps inside of their 8.
And for Elon, as it has the ball now, 1 minute into the third, what can Elon do to fight its way back in?
I think Catherine Merritt's done a great job. She just had the ball down there on the reset at just putting her team on the board. And you see Hobson there, who's looking to get on the board as well. She's done a great job in the ride and getting back those second chance opportunities for her team. But I think it's going to be just kind of penetrating that Drexel defense in different ways than they've looked to do so far today. They've done a ton of dodging, so we'll look to see if we can add in some off-ball work and maybe a little bit of extra cutting and looking for those feeds as well.
Cuoco with 6 saves in the first half. We highlighted Jenica Cuoco pregame, number 3 in the country in save percentage. Tops in the CAA in goals against, 11th in the nation at 8.72. Free position chance now for Elon to maybe score its first goal since the midway point of the first. Hannah McCarthy beats Cuoco that time, and Elon finally back on the board.
Couple of free position opportunities so far in this game, and we've seen some really nice shot placements. So Hannah McCarthy does a great job there at getting off of the line quickly when the whistle is blown, and then being able to use deception on her finish there. You see she bounces the ball at the top of the crease. So that makes it really difficult for Jenica Cuoco to even get a stick on it or even make the right step towards the ball, and then it ends up bouncing to that top corner. It's a really smart, deceptive shot there by Hannah McCarthy.
2 of Elon's 3 goals have been scored on the free position. Number 1 in the conference in free position goal percentage, just shy of 50%. Drexel's not far behind. They've got 34 free position goals this season. So does Elon, but percentage-wise, in terms of capitalizing on chances, the Phoenix has the slight edge. Trailing in this one, though, by 6, 9-3. We're in the month of April, that time of year in college lacrosse, especially in most cases, a one-bid league like the CAA, where you've got to finish really strong, get in the conference tournament, to have an opportunity at the dance. Drexel and Elon are both on the outside looking in. A win for Drexel would give them 2, the same as Monmouth and William and Mary. Huge stop by Walsh. There was a lot of room there for Elon, or pardon me, Drexel to come right back.
Really big time stop. And I think that's something that both teams have kind of fixed as they've gone on since the beginning of this game has been their clearing game. Both teams have kind of cleaned that up just a little bit, taking care of the ball when it comes to their stick on the defensive end and really making sure that they're settling in when they get to their offensive end.
Yeah, it's a great point. Those first 6 minutes, it was really up and down track meet style, and ball was coming out of the stick early and often, but it's been cleaned up, especially on Drexel's side. But for the most part, their defense has been the story, as it's been all season. But their offense has refound its form after being held to 3 on Sunday against Stony Brook. Elon shooting to the left in the third. Drexel to the right. Hannah McCarthy, who just scored, finds Leah Cirabelli on the goal line now. Catherine Merritt, who scored the 2 goals for Elon in the first half, stripped by Drexel.
Drexel, again, coming up with a lot of these big ground balls, but based off of the ball is hitting the floor based off of their pressure when the ball either gets into the inside of the 8 or their player is driving. I think that's been a really standout piece on the defensive end for them so far today. for me as a lacrosse fan, I think it's something that's incredible to watch, is a defense that works together. And it's something head coach Katie O'Donnell mentioned when we talked to her earlier this week, is just how well this defensive unit plays together.
I loved one of the things she said to us on our call the other day. Katie O'Donnell said, I tell them before and after every game, I would make every single one of you Defensive Player of the Week if I could.
Yeah,
that allows for that cohesiveness, right?
That was special.
We used the word urgency early in the broadcast, and Elon, in these first 5 minutes, like the first quarter, demonstrating that, knowing it's down 6 in a must-win game. Elon 0-3 in the league. Drexel 1-2. Virtually a must-win for both programs to stay in the hunt for a conference tournament bid. Sammy Fisher draws 2. Kicked at by Hobson, who has not scored. Sierra Hobson, 28 goals this season.
We'll see an offsides call there by the referee, mentioning that the Drexel offensive player, Corinne Bednarik, right there on the restraining line, stepped over on that ground ball attempt. So she called her offsides, and Elon will get a fresh 90-second shot clock to work with.
Sometimes Corinne can't help herself, right?
we can't as attackers sometimes. It's hard to control.
Official pulls out the yellow card. Free position. Elon, can it add to its great percentage? And yes, they can. Sammy Fisher, straight on, beats Cuoco. That's 2 straight for the Elon Phoenix in this third quarter. And they're now down 5.
2 really important free position opportunities, and both of them capitalized on. I think that's, a really great lesson in game management, right? You might end up on that free position line when the game really matters. And right now they want to try to get themselves back into this game, chipping away one play at a time. And you see both of those free position opportunities doing exactly that for them.
Elon now 3 for 4 on the day on the free position. For Sammy Fisher, crucial everywhere, the Parkland, Florida native, team leader in draw controls, has 19 goals on the season, all rookie team pick last year, has rised on the scene as a member of the Phoenix. Elon can string together a couple more, perhaps one more, to make it a real run that might have Drexel gripping the sticks a little tighter.
Definitely. I think if you see that momentum shift a lot in lacrosse is a game of runs. It's a game of momentum. So, all Elon has to do is, make a big stop here and get the ball back up the field and continue to just kind of chip away at the lead. A lot of times when you see a big 4 or 5 goal lead, some teams might think, hey, that's over. And a lot of teams you'll see, like Elon, is fighting right back and taking it one play at a time.
Does Drexel have an answer? Elon scoring 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the second half. Bednarik, the find. Walsh keeps it in front. A kick save. Ball plops into the stick. Lindsey Dean with the shot. Bednarik so unselfish, as we've noted. Now the officials get together.
Lindsey Dean looked as if she was going to celebrate. I couldn't quite see if the ball went past the goal line there. Walsh has the ball on her stick still, so the referees are chatting about whether that was a good goal, and it was.
Good goal for Lindsey Dean.
As we watch the replay here, as you mentioned, Corinne Bednarik, so unselfish with her eyes up off the dodge And then you see Lindsay Dean coming right off of that cut. She kind of gives a little bit of a hesitation on her first cradle. And then as she releases the ball, it goes low. A little bit of confusion on if the ball went over the line. But as the referees mentioned and as Lindsay Dean said and celebrated, it did. And it was a great connection between those two players for Drexel's offense.
I got to say, I thought Caitlin Walsh sold it pretty well.
I think that's a big piece of it, too. I think that's something that as players you learn to do, right? And you hope that the referees didn't see it, and you hope that there is something that you can kind of act out and maybe make sure that maybe I can get away with this. But Walsh did a great job, like you mentioned, just kind of acting, hey, I had a stick on that. Maybe she wasn't even sure if the ball had gone over the line. But Lindsay Dean did a great job at also kind of arguing for her side as well.
10-4 Drexel. We come up on the midway point of the third quarter. Brendan Glasheen with Team USA's Kylie Old-Miller. Thanks for tuning in on a Friday afternoon. Lacrosse TV's CAA Game of the Week. That time of year where really every coach will tell you every game matters, but they really matter in terms of your positioning in the conference. Bednarik at X. Walsh, her eyes all over Bednarik. Scoop and score. Kate Morano with her first goal of the season. That was crucial. The pass initially not in for her, Kylie, and she was in the right place, right time, picked it up and fired in.
And as you can tell, the whole team coming down to celebrate. And as you mentioned, right, not originally for her, but again, right place, right time, and a great heads-up play to just make sure that she was right there. And you mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, making sure that she wasn't playing to the whistle and waiting for something else to happen. She was just kind of playing through. Really nice play there for her first goal of the season.
It fits the category of controllables. And so far, Katie O'Donnell has to be pleased. Drexel checking the boxes when it comes to little things. We'll step aside. Timeout, Elon. Drexel with a few responses here in the third, 11-4. Welcome back to our CAA Game of the Week. Drexel and Elon join us tomorrow for our CAA Men's Lacrosse Game of the Week. This could be the start of a great conference rivalry. Drexel hosting Stony Brook right here at Vitus Field. Opening faceoff 2 Eastern. Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman have the call. You can see the game right here on WatchLacrosseTV.com. Kylie, for someone who played in the America East for so long, now that Stony Brook is in the CAA, who would you call as a potential rival? You can talk women's or men's potentially for Stony Brook.
Yeah, I think though we played in the America East for so long, and this being Stony Brook's first year in the CAA, we played Towson a ton and as an out-of-conference game, and they always played us really strong. They always played us really well, and they always had a great game plan against us. So I would say if I had to choose a CAA rival for Stony Brook, that would be Towson so far.
Okay. We shall see. And as of right now, Towson and Stony Brook, we're talking women's now, of course, the women's CAA standings. Stony Brook and Towson are both 3-0 in conference play, 1-2 respectively in the league. Drexel sitting in 5th on the outside looking in at the 4-team conference tournament, which is in early May. Both teams have scored 2 goals in the third. Elon's goals on the free position. They've capitalized there as they've done all season. 3 for 4, including 2 for 2 in the third. 6.5 to play in the quarter. Drexel's up 7. Elon 0 in league play, 0-3. Spin dodge that converted from a face dodge there by Sandra Godshall. Drexel mixing up personnel. Wagand misfires, but Drexel there to back it up. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Fowler with 6. Credit to Elon's defense for staying strong here to run out the clock and not allow Drexel to score.
It's a big momentum play for a defense and for a team in general, right? A play that Elon needed as a team right here to kind of shift some momentum in their direction, get the ball back in Walsh's stick. But making an offense play the entire 90 seconds of a possession clock is a really important play for the team's overall boost of confidence.
You can hear both sidelines, Elon and Drexel, still very much engaged in this game. Beautiful day in Philadelphia. You can hear "take care of it" from the sideline, and Elon just turned the ball over.
Uncharacteristic mistake there. Again, just kind of dropping the ball out the back end line there. The costly mistake. It's one, as a crease attacker, I know very well. It's one you don't want to make. Can see a little bit of extra defensive pressure there on Corinne Bednarik in the middle. On the last possession, they were kind of showing a little bit of a face guard, really pressuring out on her as she pops out to try to get the ball. You can see her right there in the middle as Sandra Godshaw drives across the middle.
Harding gives it up. Wagan swings it. Godshaw. And Bednarik might have to start counting how many times we say it. Falls to the deck. Free position opportunity for Corinne Bednarik. Scored the first goal of the game. Her second goal in the final moments of the second quarter. Bednarik has a hat trick. Stings the corner.
That's a tough angle shot opportunity there for Bednarik, but as a great shooter, as a really, well-played offensive player, she utilized that opportunity right there on that inside hash with her right hand to really kind of just drive in and get a better angle at the shot. And she's having a great shooting day. I think that coming off of that face guard on the inside, this is where she kind of gained the opportunity to get on the free position line in the first place. She popped open, got the call when she was passed the ball to the inside, and really just handled it like a champ.
Quite the career for Corinne Bednarik. All-conference last year, preseason all-conference for this coming season, or this season, I should say. Been all Drexel as far as draws. And the scoreboard reflects that number as well. 13 draw controls for Drexel. Elon has 5. In terms of shots on goal, it's Drexel plus 9, 19-10. And that's what Coach Hector of Elon had mentioned. Their offense is ready to explode, but we just got to get more shots.
Again, Drexel with this ride really took off a lot of that shot clock there as Elon finally settles into their offensive end. There's 49 seconds left on the shot clock, so a lot less time than they're used to kind of settle in and get ready to go to work. So credit to Drexel's ride there. I think that's really important to shave off the comfort of the offense.
Free position for Elon. 3 for 4 today. Anna Hackett has 9 this season. Cuoco read it well, rising as well as Hackett. Understood the angle from the start.
Cuoco with a beautiful save there. Hackett had a tough angle at the cage. She did a great job at fighting for that inside position. But Cuoco just a better stop.
Drexel outscored Elon 5-2 in the first, 4-zip in the second, 3-2 here in the third, under 2 minutes to go. You'd think coming in, home atmosphere, afternoon game on a Friday, short week. They've played with vengeance off the Stony Brook loss. Wall, the pass to the goal line extended. Scooped up by Walsh.
That'll be a yellow card to Corinne Bednarik. A check to the face there. So Elon's going to go a player up for the rest of this clear and into their offensive possession.
How much leeway does she get? I'm curious now, because how much leeway did you get when you were a player?
All players are treated pretty much the same when it comes to things like that. I mean, that was a check to the face, and if I had checked a player to the face, I probably would get a yellow card as well. So that was a nice call by the referees, and we'll see if Elon's able to capitalize on this moment.
On the kick, and the officials blow the whistle. Free position for Elon. Once again. And not that time. Can't make the save. And Anna Hackett has free position goal number 10 of the season, the first goal of her day.
Anna Hackett, again, another opportunity here on the free position. Just on the possession right before this, she was stuffed by Cuoco, and this time she is able to capitalize on the opportunity. She really protects her stick. She does a great job at bringing her stick across to her opposite shoulder with that face dodge, really sliding her hands up on her stick, making sure she's not going to get checked. And then she puts it low this time rather than putting it high. And I think that's the difference. And she really learned from that last opportunity and brought it into this opportunity. And we've seen that a lot in this game, which I absolutely love. It's just that demonstration of being really versatile players, but also adapting to how the game is going for you as an individual. Anna Hackett has a great example of that right there on back-to-back free position opportunities.
Of course, Drexel's priority, both teams' priorities to win the game. The silver lining for Elon, it's free position execution is very, very solid, above average. 20 seconds to go in the third. Perhaps if they could add another here in these final 15 seconds, they can carry that into the fourth. Sammy Fisher, the spin. Cuoco throws up the stop sign, says, let's take our time here. And Kylie, as you talked about a bit, clock management.
Super important and really well done there by Cuoco and her defensive unit.
We're at the end of 3 at Vitus Field in Philadelphia. We make the turn for home. The fourth quarter comes your way next. Drexel, in search of its second win in conference play, leads Elon 12-5. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Welcome back to Vitus Field in Philadelphia. The Drexel Dragons back home after a trip to Long Island earlier this week. They have been strong on their home turf. They lead Elon 12-5. Drexel looking good, 15 minutes away from their second CAA win of the season. Brendan Glasheen with Kylie O'Miller. Track meet kind of start to this one. Kylie, I've been super impressed. Drexel in all categories, offense, defense, draw controls, the clear game, as we've highlighted. They have played a very complete lacrosse game to this point.
Absolutely. I think, their clearing game has cleaned up significantly since the first quarter. Just to note, I think that Cuoco and Cage has made some incredible stops, and her defense in front of her is really playing as a unit. And then just having a bunch of different scoring threats has been really key for them on offense so far in this game.
Fourth quarter is underway. Elon shooting on the right. Drexel on the left here in the fourth quarter. Phoenix need goals in a hurry. Stripped by Drexel. Well, a great save by Cuoco, who is now up to 9 saves today.
She's had an incredible day, and here's defense to offense as they get the fast break opportunity.
Harding cut off ball, didn't get it. Oh, there was an opportunity for Godshall, but just could not establish her footing.
Just a missed opportunity there. Weren't able to connect. She was wide open there. But Drexel, again, just kind of doing a great job at turning their players when it comes to the ride. Just about 40 seconds left on the shot clock 60 seconds left on the shot clock for Elon to work with.
One-on-one matchup for Rosquillo, the captain of Elon, one of 4 captains. High arcing pass. It was grabbed, shot. Wide, backed up by Elon. Another one-on-one situation. Drexel sideline fired up by the defense. Allie Van Slyke, who got the shout-out from head coach Katie O'Donnell the other day, has been very poised and having a big senior season.
Allie Van Slyke, she has been all over her attacking players' hands today, and that's why she's got so many caused turnovers. I was just going to say how impressed I was with her one-on-one defense, especially in that possession right there. You saw she had great positioning. Her feet were there first. There was no extension of her hands. She just really utilized her stick to make sure that she was interrupting whatever her attacking player was doing. She got right in the way of Merritt's stick and was able to come up with that ground ball.
Scooped up by Simpson. Save Walsh. Simpson has a hat trick. So does Harding. And so does Bednarik.
Drexel's had an incredible second and third quarter so far. Elon has a lot of fight left in them, so I'm interested to see if Drexel doesn't necessarily take their foot off the gas and kind of make some uncharacteristic mistakes as they head into this fourth quarter. The last 2 possessions, you saw 2 uncharacteristic mistakes. So you'll hope that as they head into the rest of this fourth quarter, they continue to kind of capitalize on making sure they're time managing the clock and taking care of the ball, even though they do have a 7-goal lead.
Fight for the ground ball. It's plucked by McCarthy, who has scored a goal today. Yellow card comes out.
So it'll be a fresh 90 seconds on the shot clock here for Elon to work with against a player down defense.
I think it's the first time we've had Elon on the player up situation.
We saw a Corinne Bednarik yellow card earlier in the third quarter, but Elon wasn't able to capitalize on an offensive possession. So you're correct. This will be the first time that we'll see them in a settled offense in terms of the player up.
McCarthy has it. Elon runs it set. Extra player on the field in the offensive third. Drexel sideline, very engaged. Cuoco didn't have to make a stop there. Slides aggressively. Back in position. Elon swings it at X and on the goal line. Hackett operates for room. Another whistle. Free position once again for Elon. 4 for 5 today. Oh, but Drexel's pursuit defensively. Dragons everywhere. Transition.
Van Slide again on that back check there on the doorstep. Really doing a lot to make sure that she's causing those turnovers and getting the ball back into their offensive end.
Elon remains on the woman up, but now Drexel can kill clock on the penalty, but also kill clock in general with a 7-goal lead, time management, but also just valuing the ball and valuing possession. This was a 3-2 game. 8.5 minutes in. Drexel scored the final 6 goals of the first half. Elon came out strong in the third, scored the first 2 goals thanks to the free position. But Drexel's had answers all afternoon. Morano walks the ball to the middle of the field. Kate Morano scored her first goal of the season, the native of Dallas, Texas. Bednarik spins, finds the cutter. Lindsay Dean could not hold on to it.
A nice look there in the player down offense, I should say, as Wall gets a yellow card, first swing across the face on that one. So Elon goes from a player up to now Drexel going a player down as well. Another player down.
Under 8 to play in regulation. If Elon wants to fight back in this game, it needs to start scoring. Fisher cradles. You can see Sierra Hobson, 22 in the maroon, just trying to maneuver for space to catch the ball on an inside feed. Rolls off the screen. There was a chance. Drexel's defense, though, cut in front. It's been a tough day, Kylie, for Hobson to find breathing room.
That was her first opportunity on an off-ball opportunity there on the cut, catch and finish. And As you can see there, she wasn't quite used to it. It's the fourth quarter. She hasn't really had the touches that she's used to in a game. She's usually very good off ball, and Drexel's just done a great job at making sure that they've taken away a little bit of that strength of her game here today.
Pace at which Drexel was scoring early in the game, you thought they had a chance to maybe put 20 on the board. Well, in their 7 wins, they've averaged 13.5 goals a game. They're about 2 away from matching that. Elon remains locked in as best as it can defensively. Drexel does maintain possession. Shot clock, though, down to 15 seconds. And there's another sturdy possession defensively by Elon. Drexel doesn't stop playing, though.
No, I think it's been a great job just kind of handling pressure. Elon has been a player up for the last 3 minutes or so. They went back-to-back yellow cards for Drexel. But Drexel had 2 offensive possessions where they were really just looking to get the ball around and handle that pressure. Elon did a great job of putting the ball on the floor a couple of times and ultimately coming up with it on this one.
Approaching 5 minutes to play. It's a great example, too, right there. Michaela Bustillo got the kick out, but then Drexel's got 2 defenders coming right onto the ball. Their ball pressure, as you've noted today, has been outstanding.
They just seem really aware as a unit. They seem really aware of what's going on. They seem about 2 steps ahead of what Elon's offense is trying to do. And that's the mark of a great defensive unit, right? Is when they're really working together well, communicating well, having each other's backs, but also just kind of understanding what the nuances are of the offensive players that they're playing against. You could tell that they really bought into the scout for today's game and, into the game plan that the coaches had for them. They've done a great job today.
Drexel bleeding clock, under 4 to play, up 7.
These are those moments they look to utilize the majority of the shot clock, and most coaches will say go under 20 or around 20 seconds on the shot clock, which is exactly what Haley Simpson does, but another beautiful save by Walsh there.
Elon into its offensive third. McCarthy with the skip pass. Back to our right, Fisher with the Phoenix. Throws it away. 3 minutes to play. For Drexel, when you look ahead, we talked about Stony Brook. That's a loss that will sting. However, they can put it right behind them. They take on Temple next on the road. A non-conference tilt. That'll be next Wednesday evening. And then they finish up at Delaware, at Hofstra, and then home against Monmouth. The Monmouth game will prove to be crucial because that's one of the teams that's neck and neck with Drexel in the standings. And keep in mind, too, Drexel did defeat William and Mary head-to-head at home at the end of March. Harding draws 2. Simpson gets rid of it quickly. Morano to Harding. Harding spins. Bounce shot. Walsh has done her best to stay dialed in despite the lopsided score. We have not had a single goal scored in the fourth quarter. Another shot by Drexel. Simpson again.
Drexel's done a great job at definitely understanding their plan here to kind of waste some shot clock and waste some game clock off, but playing really fast and really threatening offense anyway, rather than just kind of passing the ball around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's intent and purpose behind their feeds, despite no goals being scored. Bednarik tripped up. Doesn't draw a penalty. 40 seconds remain in regulation. Big-time response by the Drexel Dragons after getting blown out by Stony Brook on the road on Sunday, short week, possibly for the better. Just to burn the tape and come right back out on the field in front of their home fans. Push from behind, 17 seconds to go. Elon will fall to 4-9, 0-4 in league play. 4 straight losses for Elon. They could hang their hat on something. Their free position execution and their defense here in the fourth quarter was impressive. They started both halves well, too. First quarter and the third quarter. But for Drexel, just really complete effort. This will help the goals against average, which is one of the best in the country. Allowed 16 last week, just 5 today. Final seconds. Dribble down, and that's your ball game. Drexel with a bounce-back win on this Friday afternoon. They defeat Elon 12-5. Kylie, really hard to nitpick this performance by Drexel. Track meet early. Elon hung around. The speed was present for both teams. Drexel just executed better across the board.
I think it was a complete team effort here for Drexel today. I think they came out off of a loss last weekend, fixed up some things they wanted to fix up, focused on some little details that they do well as a team, and they really brought that into today's matchup and showcased it really well across the board, from defense to saves and goal to contributing on offense from a bunch of different goal scorers. It was a fun one to watch for the Drexel Dragons.
So Drexel improves to 8-4, now 2-2 in the conference. And that will put the Dragons in the mix with this victory. It puts them in the mix to squeeze into that CAA tournament. As we said, a win head-to-head with William and Mary. And then they've got a big game down the stretch with Monmouth that'll wrap up conference play. That's a ways away. They take it one game at a time. As a reminder, our CAA Men's Lacrosse Game of the Week is tomorrow afternoon, 2 Eastern start. Drexel, the men, host the Stony Brook men at 2 Eastern. Look forward to that. For Kylie O'Miller and our entire crew, Brendan Glasheen, thanks for tuning in to our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. You all have a great rest of your Friday.